It's a Ninja Commando, a ninja with no pants on. Zeppelin loved their ninjas. Remember Ninja Scooter Simulator? And here we have Ninja Commando, a 1989 game released on the Atari 8-bit, C64, Spectrum and Amstrad. And we will start off on the Atari 8-bit because, hey, it's nice to have a game on the A8, and let alone one from 1989. And we have this demo scene style menu. So, you are the ninja, and you can jump around and somersault, and you have no weapons. At the moment, you can just jump on baddies, and I've died there. And the aim is to get to the end of the level. You can gain weapons. If you jump on enough baddies, you will gain a weapon, and then jump on more baddies, get a better weapon, and so on. I think the first one's Ninja Stars. Annoyingly, your sprite is the same colour as the background on each level. Jumped off there and died, which can make things a little bit difficult to see. Here you go. Oh, hang on. There we go. When we're against the brickwork there, you're not that clear. However, it looks quite attractive. And over to the 64. What a Vinny mega hack. And again, a demo-style introduction, not quite as nice as the A8. And you actually have a ninja that's a different colour from the background, which is a good start. So in some ways, it's not as nice as the A8 here, but actually the graphics are better on the 64. There's a fist at the top left-hand side that shows me that that's my weapon at the moment. Well, it should be feet, actually, because it's just basically only when you jump on people. So the aim is to get to the end of the level. I do have, there we go, got Ninja Stars there. Oh, and I've died. And when you die, you lose all your weapons. Which is annoying given how hard it is to obtain the weapons in the first place. When the baddies first emerge from their doors or holes, they flash for a few seconds, indicating at that point they can't kill you. There we go. So 2 hits to kill a baddie there. Oh, I've got another weapon. Now I've got a bomb. Yeah, the bomb's quite irritating because it goes up and down in a kind of curve. So if it's got a baddie next to you, you can't kill them. Additionally, of course, as I said, when you die, you lose all your weapons. Would be nice to have a little tune here, but we don't have that. Just spot effects. ChinnyVision gave this 72%, Commodore user 51% for the 64 versions. And those platforms can get busy very quickly, especially when you've got no weapons to throw. Spectrum version, which is interestingly copyright 1988. So was this the original, I asked myself? Because that A8 version and the C64 were dated 1989. You would have sworn that this would have been a game that originated on the 64, but no, it looks like it was perhaps on the Spectrum first, where it is not as polished at all. On original release, Sinclair user gave the 78%, your Sinclair 53%. When re-released as part of a compilation in 92, Craig Broadbent at YS gave it 25% and said it had no lasting appeal. No 1 to 8K music, much larger sprite, so it loses all the cuteness of the C64 and Atari 8-bit versions. Amstrad version, also 1988. Oh dear. Oh dear. Your red-headed ninja, who isn't even dressed as a ninja, is running along, and it looks like grannies with grey hair running back and forth as the baddies. Yeah. This is quite something. And it really chugs. And I can tell you the CPC version seems to take far longer than the other versions to get through a level. Just because it's so slow, I've died there. When you die, you go back to the nearest restart point. It's never usually too far back, thankfully. I'd visions this being the kind of game that would just send you back to the start of the level. But no, it's actually, in that respect, it's quite good. Oh, the grannies are emerging from the doors. Right, I've got a weapon now. Killed him. Oh, can I just get out of the way of those baddies there? They just look like pensioners on a day out. What's this here? Right. Oh, it's an apple. Or actually, more likely, the bomb. And the most simple of sound effects. It's not very good. And there's a visibility problem with the enemies against some backgrounds and your sprite. Now I've got fire as a weapon. And that is the end of level 1. And on to level 2 on the Amstrad. Some strange colour choices with the pink there. You will shortly see it's quite difficult sometimes to discern what is a platform and what isn't a platform. Or indeed see those baddies against the background. It's rather odd, isn't it? Some rather odd colour choices. Dear, right, back on the Atari 8-bit version. It doesn't look so much like a ninja as a spaceman. Anyway, it's level 1 completed. And on to level 2 we go. Oh, yeah, you see. It's quite hard on... There you go, that's a platform. Trying to see where the platforms are. And again, can see the baddies, but not so good seeing myself. There's a reason this is one of the few games on my Atari 8-bit collection that had a trainer built in. I don't seem to have a lot of games that have trainers built in. This one did. So watch the bullets because they will kill you. Oh, I'm gonna. Oh no, didn't get hit. I mean, it's the palette choice, a technical thing here that it's easier to have your main sprite the same colour as lots of other things I don't know. C64 version. And I got Vinny's Mega Hack, so I can basically select whichever weapon I need, which makes life a lot easier. So that's a fire thing. See, it offered me ninja stars there. Normally, it will offer you the next weapon up every time you kill something. Oh, the CPC version, it looks like a game from 1985. I mean, why use the pink like that? Why use these strange colours? Right, well, good weapon there. And all I have on the CPC is infinite lives. Oh. So I've got to earn all my weapons. I've fallen off there. Okay, it's a £2.99 budget game. And I like the concept. I like the concept of you have to run to reach the end of the level and avoid the baddies and kill a few people on the way. The problem is it's not done particularly well here on the Amstrad or the Spectrum. They might have well called this Ninja Jogger or something. Spectrum version. End of the level. And that's level 3 completed. On to level 4 where we can't see the platforms or anything else. Jumping down there. Why did I die? It's some kind of rock that spits bullets. Oh! So we finally get past that bit. Baddie's hard to see. On all these versions, you pretty much have to come to a standstill before you can use your weapon. There's no fluidity in firing things off. Some of the versions suffer from this more than others, but it's a repeated problem, as well as baddies spawning in small spaces that they can't get onto the platforms. Back to the 64. there's a kernel of a good game here. This isn't on the XE and C64. It's not a terrible game. It's a game where someone should have sat down with the coders and gone, right, lads, you know, a few more weeks on this. Here's some things you can do to improve it and make it a really good budget game. But of course, with budget games, the publishers didn't care. Does the game run? Does it give $2.99 worth of value? Then, yeah, this is fine. But it's that Zeppelin thing, isn't it? Of it's just a bit lacking. And you suspect there was no ninjas ever intended in this, that it was some kind of game where you just had to run along and they went, ninjas sell, so we're putting ninjas in it. But at least he's dressed as a ninja in this version, not a spaceman, not a jogger. On the 64, you do have a ninja in a ninja suit. And the other guys are ninjas as well in different colours. That's kind of cool. And the sprites have a lot of charm. Just need... music would help it. A bit more variety would help it. So this is what we saw on the Spectrum. It is a rock that fires things. It's just on the Spectrum. You can actually see that. Bouncy ball things. Oh, missed. There's not lots of new things to see as the levels go on. Level 1 is essentially it. Back on the A8, where everything's very orangey yellow, including the background and me. If they can manage different colour sprites for the bad guys, then why does my sprite have to be the same colour as everything else? Shame, because it's well animated. And this is a late era Atari 8-bit game. It really is 89. Not a lot of action going on in the A8 scene in 1989. Let alone to actually do a reasonable conversion of the game, which this is. It's not the A8's fault, it's not the coder's fault. I think it's on this version, it's the game itself, really, that is the weak link, the gameplay. But it's just, yeah, I mean, as I run along here, it's boring. It's just boring. Add conveyor belts, add something. Different types of baddies. The final level on the C64. Lots of platforms. I like the colour schemes on the 64 version here. On this level. Purples and blues. Not a lot of other baddies to see as yet, but they will emerge from a door there. And I can start jumping up and down to get a weapon. You see, if it was just easier to get weapons and you kept them or just degraded slightly when you died, or you always have ninja stars or something as a minimum. You spend too long risking your life to get hold of weapons that it's just easier to keep on moving and just avoid the baddies. Yes, I do have the collision detection turned off now, thanks to Vinny's mega hack on the 64. Back to the Atari 8-bit where I have nothing other than infinite lives. Look, this time, your sprite stands out really well from the background. Look how great he looks. Granted, he looks like the Ready Brek man, except in blue, but yeah, it's great. 64 version, this is what happens at the end of the game once you completed all 8 levels. Instead, I could have shown you more of the CPC version. I just got bored of how long it took to get through each level. And finishing the game on the Atari 8-bit. Congratulations, you have completed Ninja Commando. Ninja Commando, in many ways, it's a good example of a budget game. Neat idea, perhaps not implemented as well as it could have been, with a couple of versions that are very dodgy indeed. The dates would suggest the Spectrum and Amstrad versions are the originals, but boy, both are absolutely mind-bendingly terrible. Not so much Ninja Commando as advanced jogger simulator as you jog through the levels, avoiding grannies out for a jog also. Terrible, especially on the Amstrad. C64 and Atari 8-bit versions are far better. Smoother, better graphics, much more fluidity in the gameplay, while they still suffer from the problem of having to stop before you can use a weapon. With a few tweaks, this could have been a good game. Make it easier to get hold of weapons, retain them after you die, and a few less chances to actually plunge to your death because you can't get onto a platform because there's too many enemies spawning in one place. Shame really, this could have been a classic budget game, but I think the magazines that gave it a score in the range of 50% are about right.